What is a partial capo and what's it for? So to really talk about a partial capo, I'm going to very quickly talk about drop D. So what's drop D? That's of course where you drop your low string. Full tone below normal, so you've got that extra that D in the bottom. So why do you want to do that? Well, particularly if you're playing songs in the key of D or hovering around that open D chord, you've got D, A, D, A, D, right? Stacked, and your third is only in one place, and that's up top. So it means you're able to do, first of all, you get that big, huge sound, deep, full, rich sound. It also means you can do neat sort of stuff, almost dad-gaddy. So it's neat. There are two disadvantages. One is the 4-chord fingering is awkward. To get to play a G, if you want the G note on the bottom, you got to do this goofy fingering. And that means if you're playing solo and you want to quickly transition between chords, there's just a lot of flopping around with your left hand to get to that 4-chord, and a lot of people don't like it. And that scares a lot of people off of open D, drop D. The second disadvantage is, of course, because you're detuning. First of all, on some acoustics, you might have tuning problems introduced. Just that change in tension might cause a change in shape of the neck. But it's a real problem if you're playing electric guitar with a floating bridge. Any kind of detuning or retuning is a pain. You either got to have a separate guitar, or you got to have a 10-minute break to retune your guitar. So drop D scares a lot of people. So, but the title of this video is not drop D, it's partial capo. So what's a partial capo? So many years ago, maybe 15, 18 years ago, I went to see the alt country pioneer Steve Earle at Massey Hall, a great venue here in Toronto. And partway through the show, I was sitting quite near the front. He did this. And I'm like, what the hell is that? He put a capo on the 5 top strings and left the low E string open, and then he started to play like that. And I'm like, wow, that's brilliant. Why is it brilliant? You get that same behavior intervallically as you do from drop D. 5, root, 3. So you've got that same arrangement of stacked perfect fifths, and then you've just got the one spot with the third where you can do all kinds of melodic things up top, but you don't have to detune, and the 4-chord looks exactly the same as before. So that's a partial capo. You can also do fun stuff with 2 capos. Put a full capo and then a partial capo a couple frets above it, so you can move that shape all over the neck. Common thing, reasonably common thing among solo acoustic guitar performers, that kind of thing. So it's neat, it's fun to play with. Many years after that thing in Massey Hall, I attended a songwriting camp hosted by Steve Earle in upstate New York. And at that thing, he talked about how he leaves a guitar lying around just like this with a partial capo on it, because he finds it such a useful songwriting tool to give you ideas for songs, just because of that particular reason, because you got that third on the top. There's just a lot of neat voicings under your fingers. But a partial capo is not just for folkies and acoustic guitar players. I use it regularly on electric guitar in my trio, because particularly for songs in E, because again, all those open 5s sounds just fabulous through an amp that's cooking hard, that's like overdriven a little bit. It just sounds big and huge, and you've got access to all those neat voicings. There's only one disadvantage. Well, there's two. First of all, if you're putting a cheap capo like this Kaiser, it's a Kaiser, can pull your guitar a little sharp, especially if you're using electric guitar with lighter gauge strings and tall frets. So you're going to want to get a better quality capo than this one where you can dial in just how much tension there is on it. But the other disadvantage is you don't have easy access to this note F sharp, which is of course the 2. So the capo's in the way. So that's the only other real disadvantage of it. It's a lot of fun to play with. I do it a lot. Sometimes I'll set up my guitar like this and spend like just half an hour noodling around and seeing what new ideas it gives me. Hope that's fun for you. Hope that's useful for you. That is a partial capo. See you next time.